Hope bigger than a hell ring. Hope bigger than a hell ring. Things like you heard on the decks. Glover hold the court, give the chief no suspect. Politics in the mix, like Gumbo Stewart Rich. Spinning tales from Black Wall Street, real life's the pitch. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Business tips hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse. Dropping wisdom like Homer, each word a joke. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to gains. Donnie the narrator, truth runs in veins. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Business tips hotter than lava. Got that Midas touch. Stocks and blocks teaching youngins how to clutch. Ears to the concrete, finger on the pulse. Dropping wisdom like Homer, each word a joke. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Walls painted black, history on lock. Blast off from Tulsa, rebirth like a clock. Markets rising from ashes to gains. Donnie the narrator, truth runs in veins. Donnie Glover Show, be more news. 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 Show, be more news. Be news.
Good evening, everyone. If you haven't done your genealogy, that means, searching your grandparents, great-grandparents, then all you really know about your ancestry, let's be honest, is what somebody told you. It's not until we've done the work for ourselves that we actually know. One of the things shared on the show quite often is that genealogy is higher than spirituality. And I'm coming to understand that the more we know about who we are, about where we come from and who we come from, the better we understand who we are. So it's at the very foundation, the very core of this show, understanding our ancestry, who our grandparents were, what they were classified as. And what we have found is that a lot of our younger scholars are in the midst of a cultural revolution, if you will, a pushback. So we encourage viewers that watch this show to go find out who is up their family tree, self-included. Easily we could be descendants of POWs as opposed to descendants of enslaved and trafficked Africans. Prove me wrong. I'm not at all negating the 4 to 6% of the Africans in the TransAtlantic Slave Trade who came to North America. 4 to 6%. Look it up. I am, however, suggesting that melanated people who have been indigenous all over the world, including Australia, have American roots as well. Why not? Why wouldn't they? And again, prove me wrong. Let me just say that I am so proud of our people, of melanated Americans, from north to south to the dirty south, from East Coast to the West Coast to the, everybody in the middle, the Midwest. When you look around our community, when you look at our accomplishments, when you look at what we've been able to achieve, even in the face of discrimination, segregation, Black Wall Street bombings, Philadelphia Move bombings, massacres, mass incarceration, mass sterilization, Tuskegee experiments. Despite all that we have been through, nobody is as special as us. I just think we're special. I think we are the very soul and the moral conscience of this otherwise God-forsaken country. We claim to be a Christian nation, but we see that always has some political bent, if you will. Look at Whitney sing the national anthem. Or think about Crispus Attucks actually starting off the American Revolution. You think of Dr. King calming a brewing storm steeped in segregation and discrimination. You think of Michael Jackson on stage. Nobody does it like us. The rhythm, the swag, the style, our phrasing, the way we say things, the way we do things. Everything we do, people try to copy it. They try to copy our style. So I'm not sure what the collective name of our people is. We can't agree on it. We can't agree on Negro, African American. Don't say African. Don't connect us with African. Melanated seems to be safe. But whatever the case, those people from here with hundreds of years of lineage, we've got that certain je ne sais quoi, if you will. Everybody copies our style, the way we say things. They copy it all over the world. Commercials, look at it. Remember the commercial, the Bud Light commercial? What's up? It was just a common phrase in the Black community, and they turned it into a multi-million-dollar campaign, marketing campaign. What is it? Mess around and find out, FAFO. That started in the community. Girlfriend, remember? Women were calling each other girlfriend. That started in the community. We start everything. We give this country swag, style, soul, rhythm. And I'm so proud of us. Welcome to the Indigenous Series. And I'd like to bring up some of my friends and have them tune in. Horace Lee the Fourth, how are you, sir?
Peace, my brother. How you doing? I'm all right.
Hannibal James, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm awesome, sir. How you doing today?
Good. Hannibal, any thoughts?
Hey, I was just thinking about getting straight to the point of like showing people what you could find. Can I share my screen real quick, if I can? Okay, let me see.
Peace, Planet Wales. Peace, Planet Wales.
Peace.
Planet
Blessings to
Wales.
everybody. Hey, now, Donnie.
All right.
So I wanted to get to could you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Not loaded yet.
Okay, give me 1 second. Okay.
Michelle Walker, Sean Johnson, Grand Day.
Okay, could you guys see now?
I don't see nothing there.
I don't see anything yet. No.
Oh, sorry. Well, you can keep
Planet
going.
Wells, how you been?
Good. I was involved in this great thing that Radiohead 369, the Empire Nation, put together, and it was very. It was like a symposium on AI and the relationship to our community. it was quite enlightening.
Okay.
Yeah.
You muted, Hannibal.
So
what we
this
doing?
this is the gist of it. So when you guys get to the point where I'm at, I'm to the point where I'm searching the Bureau of Land Managements, right? And I got the Indian allotments. This for the Creek Nation. So this guy here, who's the admin over this allotment for this guy here, Gotcha. This guy, Joseph Bradford, enslaved my kin. You see this name right here? Joseph H. Bradford. Now look how many land allotments that he controls. So I'm gonna search the patents. You see this? So when you look at this in the middle here, when I'm looking at the dates, the date that I'm looking for is like 1842. So I'm gonna show you just how many documents that our family got attached to them, because these are our kinfolks, because the red sticks who stayed behind were enslaved and their lands was taken. But here they names like Neha, Yaholo. Yaholo is the one of, like, when I searched it says royal family. So he was like the Yaholos is like the speakers of the tribes. But if you notice here, this guy Joseph H. Bradford is on all of them. He was the guys here in where my family was. Let me stop sharing. Them guys there, they was the start of basically moving west towards Louisiana from DC. So that Joseph H. Bradford, he's involved with over like 50 allotments, and each one of these allotments is like 320 and 640 acres. So I say all this to say that when Donnie said family genealogy is the key, this is what took me. It took me at least 20 years to get to this point where I'm searching records, I'm doing this, and I'm stumbling. I really got the picture of searching the people who enslaved us, and then it broke open. You get what I mean? So you might not find it just on the records of your own group, but search those who had you. You get what I mean? And I don't want to, like we were saying, the semantics of calling things or whatever it is. What I'm saying is people that enslaved us, if that was an Indian territory, more than likely they got access and they land was to the records there. So that's what I just wanted to do. I just wanted to give our audience something to show that this is the fruitfulness that we're doing, to find the ancestors, then find the land on the Bureau of Land Management.
Now, the Bureau of Land Management, that's a federal website?
Yes, sir. It's called Bureau of Land Management, and you want to go to the GLO part, GLO. So that part right there, if you look in the on the left-hand side of the screen, it got the state and the county. So you can search your state and the county for your family. But if you don't find your family names, like I'm saying, search those who enslaved you, and then it'll come together. So I got, like, right now, as I was just working, I got 15 land deeds and land titles to 15 different people that this Joseph H. Bradford that's connected to our circle down there. So, and it's much more. I'm just networking with him, and then I'm spreading out to the other ones, his cohorts. You get what I mean? So
what you gonna send him a bill?
No, what I'm doing is actually I can gather all the other families, the peripheral families that was enslaved too, that was Creeks as well, because these land deeds name their ancestor. You get what I mean? Because these folks did not go back out to Oklahoma. So they was amalgamated into us. You get what I mean? So these people are rightful heirs to this land that was allocated down there.
Let's talk about that for a second. Do you think people understand the dots that you are connecting? Let's go through it. Let's go through the dots that you are connecting.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this, is that I was able to find my second great grandfather. His name was Ned Edison, right? And he was born in 1843. And his wife was named Frances Marbury. I was able to find another document in 1857 where the guy his name was Whetstone, Whetstone, he was in a probate record. He passed along slaves to his children. And each one of these slaves were my kinfolks. So I could trace each one of them. It's like 20 of them. And it went to like 6 kids. And I could trace each one of them to descendants that live now. You know what I'm saying? So by looking at his 1857 probate record, his last name was Whetstone, I'm doing my study and I'm finding out that they were the first people in an Alabama district to meet the Alabama tribe. They were the first ones to come in there. So with my DNA, it says that I'm matching the Creeks out of Oklahoma. I'm matching the Saponis out of North Carolina. I'm matching the Lumbees. I'm matching the Oto tribe. So I'm up here trying to figure it out. So when I'm saying how I connected the dots was I started looking at those who enslaved us, like I said, and it was another guy named Leonard Marbury. His father.
What do you get from this?
What do I get from it? Say that again, Donnie.
Yeah, that's the question.
So what I get from it is the right to, okay. Under that Treaty of Cassata, it says that the U.S. government promises 25 years of education, right, for the Creek Nation. And I'm up here trying to say that the Creek Nation was divided into 2 fashions. I'm saying that the fashion that's out there in Oklahoma is the fashion that sold us the white sticks, or the Scottish descendants people, or those who went out there with Chili and Rollie McIntosh. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying that those of us who stayed behind, we were the ones that didn't want to sign it. Our ancestors didn't want to sign that treaty. So I'm saying by right that we should have some type of say, or even the right to self-determination without anybody saying anything to us. You get what I mean? Without no judgment, no questions or not, because it's in white, black and white. You know what I'm saying? Not just for my family, it's several families. Like I started, when I first got on the show, I showed you the oldest person that lived in our family, 126 years old. He's even described as being Creek. He the one told us our story. He told us that certain lines of the family were slaves and certain lines wasn't. Then you go into the literature, 1830 book, a history book by George Brewer, The History of Coosa County, where he names each slave master that owns us. And they're dealing with these native tribes. And he names the people like Conip Fixico, Conip Hadjo. These people that own big places down there. You know, my people had money after the Civil War. You get what I mean? And they had money because of these quote unquote red sticks. You get what I mean? So this is what I'm getting out of it. Some of my family didn't understand my fight, but they understand it now. You get what I mean? They understand that, well, we got a right to something where nobody can say nothing. We got the document. The whole county is our cousins. You know, there's no doubt about it that place is us. The whole county is my family. Right. You know, so that's just my feeling. You see my angst and my feelings coming out now because this means so much to me, and not just for me, because it's gonna help everybody else. Because within the Muskogee was the Shawnee, those who came from Maryland and Virginia. What I'm saying is that, hey, maybe I can do something, or maybe we can do something to help everybody else out. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it, Donnie. You know?
Right. Well, I got a couple of statements and a question. The first statement I want to say is shout out to Sister Secrete Balance, as well as I want to say a high superb shout out to Mama T for the work that she's doing, because she's opening up some portals of information that can no doubt give us, a good precedence of who we are on this land. Now, I think that the importance of what maybe the brother's not saying of what he's doing is that once this information is gathered up and you can trace back to what was owned by our families on this land and what was taken from them by the invaders and whoever else were their constituents, then we have a legitimate source to bring before the people who promised to give us these things or who stole these things from us. You know, like the brother Esquire was saying when he was on the show, it's not reparations, it's more restitution for what was stolen, because reparations is something of a moral thing. What this isn't about morals. This is about what you're obligated to pay because of what was taken unlawfully. So I think that that's the importance of that, because I got a sister now in and shout out to Nafisha Boo Boo down in Atlanta, Georgia. She's also Creek Muskogee, and she had traced her lineage back, and she sent me the documentation to where they were back in the, I want to say the early 1800s or the 1700s, when they were documenting, where it says that they were working for themselves on their own land. So how could they possibly be slaves working for themselves?
Right.
You know, and yeah, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I think that after like 1832, that's why I keep harping to people like Alabama. The state of Alabama probably got like a 31-year history of slavery from 1832 to 1863. The other part of Alabama was called Wayne County, Mississippi. So so the history of what we think as slavery is not pertinent to certain places in the South, because it wasn't like that. It was Indian territory, right there, Atlanta, Birmingham, and all them places, Mobile, and things like that. Troup County, Georgia, all that was quote unquote Muskogee territory. Even all the way to South Carolina was at one time.
So when you say Indian, you're saying the Indians or the indigenous ones who they call Negroes, right?
Right. So what I'm saying is this. So I think that when we get into the semantics of language, we fall behind. I think everybody should understand when I'm saying Indian is those who was native to this land. Those of us who identity was stolen is who I'm talking about.
I got you.
So,
Yeah, I was just trying to clarify that. I got you, bro.
No, I was trying to clarify for the audience, but I'm trying to show them is that we can get caught up on certain things and miss the key point. Like Brother Horace was saying, certain things was promised us on that Treaty of Cassata. I keep saying it, and I think that we need to have a class basically on that treaty. What was said to us? You know what I'm saying? It was out of 50 people, you know what I'm saying, 49 of the original people didn't sign that treaty. Then they come back later on, right, on the Treaty of Indian Springs. Then they come back later on, get a Treaty of Cassata to amend for that treaty for selling Georgia. They gave Alabama to us. You get what I mean? Then they took Alabama over the years. So it's another book called Slavery by Another Name. It talks about us down in Coosa County. That's like in the 1920s to 1930s. You know, this is a little bit later. So if you read about it, they got a Taiwan Fixico. They call him a gypsy instead of a Creek Indian. But we were still down there in the 1920s and 1930s. They had Cherokee festivals in the 1870s down there. So the history is there, the documentation is there. I think we got an audience that might think this thing here is kind of elusive, and they might not find nothing, but it's there. You just gotta put your time and put your focus to it. Yes, sir.
So now the last question is that when you say slavery, you're speaking of involuntary servitude, such as being prisoners of war. Prisoners of war on their own land. Okay.
Right, because that when I say slavery, that encompasses a whole bunch. It wasn't just this. It wasn't like I'm saying this. We get this. It's like a fantasy, basically. You know, it ain't directly like you was enslaved on the ship. You put it on a plantation. It wasn't that. It was that they had businesses. You was on the trains. You was in hotels. You was in the fields. You was in the houses. My auntie Lucinda, my second great grandmother Lucinda Crocer. She was a fangirl. She sat on the top in a room on the thing, and she fanned babies and stuff. This is what she did. She was 9 years old. So when I'm saying that. Our when we diving into this and reading the records down in Georgia, it's going to unveil to show you what our people was doing. You know, it's right there on those census records as well.
Yeah, and like I was saying, shout out to Mama T, where she had opened up a portal of information that was basically explaining the, how can I put it, man, the energetic spiritual importance of New York, Chicago, California, and Atlanta.
What did she say specifically? I mean, share with us.
Well, Chicago was the North Gate for our ancestors, and talking about the mounds and the pyramids. There were energy centers, and then they come in and they militarized it, you know, in order to shut the energy down. And New York was the place that they turned into the materialistic capital in order to get, you know, the people on the land to succumb to the materialistic ideal. And then California was the place where they turned everything into illusions through their quote unquote Hollywood, you know, media, movies, and etc., to get people out of the reality of what was taking place in order to, you know, to sort of divert people from, you know, the things that were real to us on the land. And then Atlanta was sort of like the was sort of like the landing pad of the home place of everything. And of course, we associate that with Atlanta. And so, you know, I gave you the gist of what she was saying, but I mean, just so far as you know, word for word, and you know, better than I just described it. I sent the video in the group chat, but man, it was very important and eye-opening, man. And so the few people that I talked to that I sent that particular video to, they said that, man, just listening to that made the hair stand up on their arms. Because it's extremely powerful. But you know, in this day and time, you know, they're not going to be able to stop what's going on, because those of us who are coming into this particular degree of knowledge, we actually remembering, because the DNA is remembering, because it was some of our ancestors that couldn't be compromised back in those days. So due to the fact that they couldn't be compromised, that particular degree of knowledge remained in the DNA. And so when we decided to come here, we picked up that DNA. That's why we are where we are right now in this struggle. And then so we can thank our ancestors that didn't, you know, that didn't bend over, put the petticoat on, you know, to be seen. You know, we can thank them for that, because we are where we are right now because of them. Yeah.
Can I respond to that question on the screen and say, I don't understand how you think you're entitled to land. It's not that I'm entitled to it. We got 3 of these land allotments in trust that've been in our family since then, right now today. So what you mean entitled? We got it.
But I don't understand the question.
The question is that what you think you're entitled to. Is that
what I'm saying,
we got the land today. We just don't got the status.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, how can somebody come into your house and tell you that this isn't your house and set up shop, and then when somebody, you know, within the house, whether it's a generation down the line, wake up and say, well, wait a minute, this is our house, and then you get somebody to come and say, well, how can you feel entitled to the house? You sound like the people who came in and broke in the first place.
I think our viewers, like Brenda just said, I don't think President Trump will honor the treaty. The treaty is being honored now with the Creeks out there. Right now, it's just that we haven't, that we've been what you call slaves or esclavos, and that we haven't had the knowledge or the wherewithal to take it to court.
Yeah, but international law, as well as the Chester KV Act of 1666 states that anybody who has been granted an estate, you know, if he doesn't claim his estate, then, you know, of course it can be, you know, for the lack of better words, parasited upon. But once he returns and claims his estate, then all squatters have to vacate the premises. And so that's what's going on now.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
So yeah. I think people need to study Alabama, them 18 counties. And I think people need to study the African American.
Slow down. You saying that all of us need to study that particular story?
Yeah, because the Muskogees was the last ones. The Muskogees was the last ones to be conquered or forced west. This is like I said, Alabama became a state, a whole state, 31 years prior to the emancipation. 1832, December 1st.
Boy, let's give them some shout outs to this chat. They are blowing it up. Anthony Williams, Sean Johnson, Big Mama Tahonga, Michelle Walker, Superior Minds. Thank you for subscribing and thank you for liking the show. I said Anthony Williams, West Side. They friend there, hard. Superior Minds, T the shirt guy. You know, when I see T the shirt guy, just make you want to say T-shirt guy. T the shirt guy. The Lubis, that's the lady that had the comment at the Lubis. Your girl Brenda Bennett on here. Frankie Golden, shout out to you. Okay, I'll return it back to you. What do you think, Planet?
Well, I think it's real and in-depth uncovering of the reality. I mean, he's talking about his actual family. So I think that's not, he has the facts, so it's not really a point of debate because he has the actual facts and he has his actual family. So I think it's strong that he's sharing it and revealing it, you know. The other thing I notice is that, you know, when you have a situation like we're in, and you have a certain amount of colonists, they came over here and through hook and crook took over the land. You know, they have a invested interest in keeping one ignorant. And then the other thing is that what I was thinking about is, you know, having been to Asia and what have you, you know, you have the Koreans, you know, you have the Japanese, you have the Chinese, you have the Laotians, you have the Cambodians, you have all of these different people. Now, in a lot of cases, they look somewhat similar. If you were a foreigner, you know what I mean? You may mistake one for the other. So why wouldn't that also be the case where you have also an incentive to keep the people ignorant here? Why wouldn't? Why not? You know, so a lot of times in the community, I see a lot of people on different websites attacking each other, right? Because they think, well, one is trying to take their you know, their history, their this, their that, right? But I don't see that. I haven't seen it in terms of a lot of places in Asia and what have you. They accept the fact, no, the Koreans got their thing. They do, you know, the Japanese got their thing, Chinese got their thing, you know. There's not this fight. And I think that fight is planted for this misunderstanding. You know?
Yeah, I was most definitely about to piggyback off that, but I think that you nailed it with your last statement, and I wanted to, you know, just elaborate where you left off at. Is that that with this global awakening of the indigenous people of the planet Earth, you know, they're always going to be agents that try to come and disrupt the unity that has the possibility to take flight and to you know, to get those grafted beings off of those lands that they're not indigenous to, where there's nothing but decay and death that follows behind them. So yeah, you said it, you hit the nail on the head with the plant part, because I think that for the most part, It's like what's the name of that group when Black Lives Matter was out there? Antifa.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were doing a lot of burning buildings and all this other stuff, and then you know they'll throw the rock and hide their hand as if you know they're oblivious to what's taking place. So yeah, it's a lot of plants that's on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
and it's one thing that I was talking to the sister about earlier is that in Islam they said that the shaitan knows Islam better than the believers do. So it's no different than the information that we're talking about right now, that the plants know the same information, if not better. So they can easily hop on the internet and you know and give you know these scholarly uh, 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 um, um, you know soliloquies about you know this, that, and the other, and they sound very convincing. And which the information we be right on point, but not knowing that they be plants. And I think that that's what's going on right now, man, to stop this this uniting of us with our brothers and sisters over in Africa, with our brothers and sisters over in Scotland and anywhere else that we are on the planet. And so we got to be very mindful that these plants will come in and they look just like us and they do whatever it takes to disrupt us so they can keep this confusion going on so these colonizers can maintain the power that they used to have that they don't have anymore.
Right. That's why.
I'm sorry. This is from your girl Brenda. She says the real issue is how do we organize as a nation? And I'm going to tell you, Brenda, one way is we keep this show going. You agree, Horace?
I agree.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Hey, brother. Like I said the last time, man. When I wake up in the morning, man, it's like, man, I done hit the lottery, man. I feel good because I got something to look forward to.
She says, then move forward. We need all professions on board to build a self-sufficient nation. This is the first priority. There are strength in numbers.
I agree totally. That's why I was pushing for this treaty, because if we can get the government to follow their hand on this treaty, because we would
let me stop you right there. Partner, I ain't waiting on the government because I don't see this government ever doing anything to help empower us. My trail would stop right there. I'm not waiting on them for anything.
I believe
it's not happening.
Yeah, I thought about that too. And even for us, it's a compelling story to go to court for.
I'll take them to court, but I ain't expecting nothing from them because we know who they are.
Right. But like I was telling my cousins, my duty is to go ahead and put it there. That's my duty. Right. That's what else I'm going to do.
I support you.
You know, just to put it there, just to, even if it failed, Donnie.
I support you. I will help.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, Hannibal, Michael Jordan got a saying, and it is, I can accept failing, but I cannot accept not trying.
Right.
I got a saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Mm-hmm.
You got that right.
The other thing, Donnie, that's very important is like what you have on the screen right now, because you have to really understand that there have been literally hundreds of years, right, where we haven't had access to any images, historical images of ourself. Right. And now this, of course, was designed, but let's even take the design out of it. Just think about that. If you have a trove of time where you don't have any reflection in the published media of your existence here, other than what is promoted by Hollywood, who is primarily driven, unfortunately, just by revenue. They clearly don't care anything about the factual evidence, right? You know, the most historic element of that, of course, was you know, any of the early Egyptian things where the only thing you saw that was brown skin or black was fanning the white stars who were playing the pharaohs and the this and the that, right? But what I'm saying is put it in context of 3, 4, 500 years of that. So by showing these images and opening up a discussion, because clearly we're not satisfied with where we're at, nor are we satisfied with the images that have been put on us for that length of time. So that's the value of the show. Anybody want to know my point of view?
I got a couple things I want to show you along those very same lines. When you talk about culture, I came up with these overnight just for you, big brother, just for you.
Apparently, there's this video going around of the Nottoway plantation on fire. But what they don't mention about the Nottoway plantation is so obvious. Look at the name Nottoway. Nottoway plantation is named after the Nottoway tribe. And one of the older owners is part of the Randolph family. I believe his name is John Randolph. And they migrated from Virginia. So a bulk of these so-called black slaves that they had on the Nottoway plantation are actually former members of the Nottoway tribe. So descendants of the Nottoway tribe were enslaved, and they were taken with the Randolph family to Louisiana to this plantation called Nottoway Plantation, ironically named after their tribe and the land that was originally stolen from their tribe to make the original Randolph plantations in Virginia.
So hold that thought. That's one. I got one more for you.
Hey, hold on. It was a glitch in there. So I want to say, like they say on the battleground, the chance to bring that back.
You want
There's a big
to
glitch
back?
in there.
All right.
Plantation on fire. But what they don't mention about the Nottoway plantation is so obvious. Look at the name Nottoway. Nottoway plantation is named after the Nottoway tribe. And one of the older owners is part of the Randolph family. I believe his name is John Randolph. And they migrated from Virginia. So a bulk of these so-called black slaves that they had on the Nottoway plantation are actually former members of the Nottoway tribe.
Did you catch any of that? Or is it better, bad? Hannibal?
Hey, I heard it all, but I just wanted and Lou, this is Tasha G, and she's real fluent with this. That Randolph family is the family that she's talking about as the wife of Thomas Jefferson and them. So that's what she's talking about with the Calvert family and the Colbert families and stuff like that. If you really know anything about Virginia history and that Nottoway tribe, my mother's family come from Crewe, Crewe, Nottoway, Virginia. So I'm really not fluent, but I understand what happened with us up there, and that's when you got a lot of quote unquote Delaware Moors or DELAWARR Moors. You get what I mean? So it's a deep entanglement when it comes to us and these tribes. But that's what they mean by being shipped downriver from Virginia to Louisiana, to plantations down there. Then you got to think about what tribes had the land down there, what tribes was doing business with the government down there, bringing them down there. You get what I mean? So it's deeper than just whites or white settlers coming in and subduing all the natives. Some of these natives was in cohorts with these folks, is what I'm saying. And that's how we got kind of shipped out of duped out our point. You know what I mean? I think that's why I got a passion for it, because it wasn't a truthful thing. You know what I mean? That got us away from it.
You mentioned also Planet about the culture and the imagery. Here's something for you. got one more for you. Did you catch? You catching that, Planet Wells?
I'm on it. I'm getting ready to comment.
I got one more for you.
Okay.
Try to bring some different perspectives at a dog.
There were no Indians, no Cherokee, no Seminoles until outsiders started rewriting our story. The people who were already here were melanated nations with order, trade, and power. Before the tribes, the truth they hid. Hi, my name is Erica Trinell with the Nativa Party, ready to go in private. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Click the link in my bio if you're ready to learn who we were before the paperwork. Before any word like Indian existed, the land was full of melanated nations. Timucua, Calusa, Apalachee, Yamasee, Guale, Natchez, Catawba, and more. They built canals, mounds, calendars, and trading ports. They governed themselves by councils and bloodlines. No outside kings, no color codes. When foreign powers showed up, they started labeling everything. In the 1600s and 1700s, the Spanish used Cimarron, meaning runaway, for free towns of Black and Native families. The English turned that into Seminole. The U.S. later created paperwork tribes, Cherokee, Choctaw, Creek, to control land. These weren't our original nations, they were administrative names forced onto us. Around the 1700s, pale-skinned Europeans began arriving in numbers. They were not rulers, they were refugees and servants fleeing monarchies in Europe. Our ancestors gave them refuge, space to live under our laws, because they were escaping oppression. Over generations, they multiplied, slipped into government posts, and rewrote the records, claiming what was already built. Before that takeover, this land already had free towns and enslaved towns. Some melanated rulers tied to European trade kept captives. Others fought them to keep the land free. That's the truth behind the so-called Seminole Wars. Melanated nations defending freedom from other melanated powers allied with outsiders. Indian came from 1492 when Columbus thought he had reached India. It means people of the Indies. Black and white were legal categories created in the 1600s to decide who could own land or be enslaved. Once those color words hit the paper, the nations disappeared from record, but not from blood. The reservations and tribal systems you see today were built on those colonial papers. The real melanated nations of this soil were never part of that paperwork. That's why chasing those titles doesn't restore who we are. It keeps us inside someone else's file. We're the descendants of the builders, not the paperwork tribes. Our ancestors welcomed refugees, and some of those refugees rewrote the story. Now it's our turn to rewrite it back.
Wow, that's deep. One more. Here you go. This is for you, Horace.
Wow.
Stop screen. Share screen. It's YouTube. And play.
I'm going to dispute those people who are going on with this anti-Africa, Native American issue. We have lots of African, Hebrew, and Arabic words inside of Mashkogi. In the recent years, nobody has studied the language enough to know, because everybody's on some type of denial of Africa, okay? But let's look at this word, Ochi, in the Creek language or the Seminole language, Mashkogi, and it means nut or pecan. But we have another word in Igbo, Ojibo, and it refers to kola nut, okay? The Oji is very reminiscent of the Seminole word for nut, Oji. And if a Seminole person was to refer to the kola nut, he would call it a what? An Oji. So as a Muskogee, I'm going to dispute those people who are going on with this anti-Africa.
There you go. So what do we conclude from this, gentlemen?
Well, you know, there is a there's an entwined history, right? And you know, Africa comes up, the Americas come up. Now, on the video that you showed, looked like it was from Louisiana, where the people were dancing and this, that, and
Mardi
the other.
Gras, no question.
Yeah, and you have multiple photographs and paintings of the people on this land. So when you see those things, you'll notice, often in the documentation they're wearing feathers, right? And we have a certain, when when you see the older films and you see them greeting the Indians, they always have the feathered headdress and this, that, and the other. So you associate that with this particular land and these particular people. On the other hand, because I know a lot of people who have been searching for identity have a real their heart opens up to ancient Kemet. And I would also say that if you look at the deities, I don't know how they missed this, but if you look at the deities, Isis or whomever, you will find that they're wearing feathers. So in
What are you saying about this planet? I
when they
want
say,
you to just go on and on. Help me out. What's the banger?
I recognize you're slow, but look, it's the the spiritual significance
Actually,
of
pretty
the feather.
fast. I like that.
The spirit. Don't let me go in yet. What you've done. The 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 feather represents the reason why it is so revered and so embraced by these different cultures, because it's felt that it was a gift from the heavens, all right? Because it represents flight, it represents freedom, it represents all of that, those type of things, So these things are in common, right? So we shouldn't be at war with any of it, right? We shouldn't be at war with any of it, is my point there, Donnie.
Big Mama said it all for me. Big Ma baby.
Yeah. If
Needed.
I could, yeah.
This is a much needed, because even us having a discussion raises the vibration and the awareness of the collective spiritually.
True.
Totally agree. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. Come on with it.
Sure indeed. Sure indeed. Yeah. If and I would like to speak on the first video with the sister on there, man. I don't know who that sister is, but man, shout out to that sister, man. Big time. I think it was very important what she was saying about some of the names, that were, placed upon the people of the land that were here. But as far as the people, sort of being against, Africa and all this other stuff, like I just stated previously, that a lot of times, man, those are direct infiltrated moves on the part of keeping, the indigenous people from being united spiritually and collectively. And like the brother Wells was saying in regards to the feathers, well, we all had a common practice worldwide as indigenous people, but more so in Egypt, when they show the hieroglyphs and the pyramids, well, we understand this being the land associated with Atlantis and the original land, the sacred land of the West, which was the land of the original grids. Well, the things that we look at as ancient, we can bring them in modern terms. So just like how, over here in America, wear a pair of fresh jeans with some Jordans and a T-shirt with a gold rope and a baseball hat. We can find that same element in Africa and in Australia and anywhere else where there are people who like to pattern themselves after us, to your point, Donnie, at the beginning of the show. So we always were the original grids that always set the trends for the entire world. So those feathers and those dances and even those structures of the pyramids and the temples, where they were all here first, but you know, over the millions and billions and trillions of years that we elevated and became more technologically advanced as a people, we were able to take those things to other parts of the world and mimic what originally came from here. See, that's why Joseph created a step pyramid in Africa, just to give commemoration to the step pyramids that's right here in Maryland and New Jersey and DC and anywhere else that there's step pyramids here on Tamari, which we call Turtle Island.
Okay. What I got out of the thing,
okay, my 2 minutes is up, so I'm gonna be quiet now.
I'm sorry, Hers. What I got out of the young lady's video when she's talking about the administrative names for these tribes, that's true. Like Cherokee, Creek, and even Nottoway. Even these names are administrative names that they use.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right.
In the world back in the 1780s and 1790, the whole world was going through like this thing called a Reformation period.
Powerful.
And the United States was coming into birth. So you got to think about this. You got all these religious people like Huguenots, Jews, Protestants, Christians, all these type of people fleeing these lands from over there because they was making laws for them not to be there no more. So you got Huguenots in South Carolina. You got Jewish folks in Alabama that's crypto Jews, so they couldn't be called Jews, so they called themselves Scottish and men amongst the Creeks. So a lot of us African Americans that got Creek DNA also got Jewish DNA because they couldn't be Jewish here. So the intricacies of it all is really deep. So that's why I say if you want to understand this, you got to be a student of world history. 1790s Reformation in the East. United States just becoming a country 15, 16 years later. 1775 was when the Marine Corps came alive, when George Washington crossed the Delaware. So that's what I remember about history. You know, I remember bits and pieces like that. And when I hear things like that, it triggers me to understand what's been happening in the world. You know what I mean? So like even with the pyramids, like A squared, B squared, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So if I got anybody out there that understand that Pythagorean theorem, you can't build no pyramid without that. You can't build nothing without that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Did he just drop some 9th grade geometry on us?
No, but I can do the sine, cosine, and tangent too.
Why? No, that's right.
Well, can you do the secant, the cosecant, and the cotangent?
Yes,
because
sir.
then I would be impressed.
That was more.
I'm really proficient with math, up to trigonometry, even to doing logarithms. That's calculator, how a calculator calculates.
Well, so, the images speak 1,000 words.
Right. And there's no doubt about it that you can't build without that, you know. You can't build anything straight and anything at a 90-degree angle without knowing that A squared, B squared, C squared. And like you say, sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, all that, cosecant and all that type things. You know, the quadratic formula and all them things. You can't, you know, and these are things that we know that we've taught the world.
So clearly the label of these people being primitive is blown out of the water.
Right.
Because you can't have these famous, incredible cities and all this architecture and all of these mounds and all these pyramids, right? But so we got to flip the switch,
right? And then they aligned it to the stars. That's some deeper stuff. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It's deep just to build it on this land, but then align it to the heavens is something else.
Exactly, the cosmic geometry.
Right.
It's even deeper, and everything is every. Mm-hmm. Yeah, then everything, you know, some of the major ones are built on top of ley lines and other parts of the planet that have high vibrational frequencies to it. But to your point about the geometric thing, where when it boils down to it, everything around us is only lines and circles, and the number 4 is the foundational number of everything. Nothing exists on any level or is able to stand, let's go vertical without the number 4 being at the base, even if it's in a circle or otherwise. So that 360 degrees or times 2, which is 720, is mandatory, and that's on the flip side for my GD homies, you know. But so yeah, brother, you're a powerful brother, man, and I appreciate you, brothers, man. You know, for being in the priesthood from the ancient of days, man.
You want to explain that last thing you just dropped on us?
You talking to me?
I didn't hear the question.
You want to explain the last piece you dropped on us?
What about the number 4 or the lines and circles?
Well, you did a whole rundown, but I thought you were talking maybe a particular tribe. I don't know.
You talking to me, Donnie?
Yeah, you.
Well, I don't.
He's talking about the general culture of that time of those people.
But no, you know, to the tribe. Yeah, man, my fault, man. Yeah, man. But no. Yeah. I was speaking of, you know, the lines and the circles. I mean, you know, just take a look around. There's nothing but lines and circles. Everything. And 4, you know, your chair sits on the number 4. You know what I'm saying? Your everything sits on the number 4, your refrigerator, your stove, your couch, your bed. You know, so when you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, you get 10, which is all the numbers in the scale. But they aren't the actual numbers, they're frequencies. And so those frequencies are all around us in the 4 directions. So this is what Thomas Jefferson meant by supernatural interference, but he meant by numbers and natural means, because he understood that we were the original scientists. And once we started waking up to these sciences, that we were going to change the frequencies, like the brother Terrence Howard. You know, Terrence Howard is smarter than Einstein himself. You know, but no, when I said that 360 and 720, that was just, you know, for some of the brothers in the GD tribe. I'm not in that tribe, but I was just, you know, speaking for them, you know, in that particular manner, because they draw off the 360 degrees as well as the 720.
Yeah. He said some powerful stuff there. He said that 1, 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10.
Oh, Larry Hoover, the gangster disciples, they the tribe, you know. You know, probably, you know, I would say if we would have, yeah, well, you know, if
you keep going out.
Yeah, and those are all the numbers on the scale, because the 9 is nothing but a 1 with a 0 attached to it. That's why supreme mathematics is born. So you have knowledge and cipher, you know what I'm saying, in one science, but there's nothing after born. There's nothing after 9. 9 is the last number on the scale. But 9 is nothing but a 1 with a 0 attached to it.
So if you had your square.
But no, when I speak on my GD homies, you know, I got a lot of GD buddies, man, you know, in the city of Chicago and otherwise. Go ahead, brother.
Brother, I just want to know, what is GD?
Gangster disciples.
Okay. Thank you for all the other people out here who didn't know what you were talking about.
So one thing he said that was profound. So if you imagine a square, got 90 degrees here.
Yeah, that's there for gangster disciples. But see, like,
so what I was just saying, you got a square.
My fault. But if we did,
there's a little delay.
It's a delay. Go ahead, Horace.
He mentioned Terrence Howard. He said Terrence Howard is pretty smart.
Yeah, he's really brilliant. Horace said it all right there.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was listening.
No, I'm saying that you said it all right there with that 360, 720.
Oh yeah, he's smart. He's smarter than Einstein.
Yeah, if you really think about it, think about this. You got 90, 180, 360, and 720. Yeah. And what they all got in, if you add all the sum of them numbers up, equals 9. Like you said, equals the knowledge, right? Yeah. That's what mathematics gets you when you understand angles and all this stuff that we're talking about. It's a higher knowledge. Yeah. You get what I mean? Like we said, everything is circles and lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, born, yes, sir.
And then I agree totally.
Yeah.
If we so smart, then how come we got some of the dumbest ass people on earth?
That mathematics don't lie.
oppressing us? If we so damn smart, how we let such a moron of a culture dominate us, steal our voice, make us ashamed of who we are?
Because
how could this be? If we so smart,
our vibration
what happened?
When you get beaten, you get tortured.
Because
I don't want to.
Because it was never
no more.
Yeah, the vibration.
It was never them. It was never them. It was never them. But see, Donnie, it was never them. You know, they were only the puppets. Just like the brother Hannibal said, when they came over here, they were refugees and alcoholics. You know, pretty much bums for the most part. But it was never them. It were never those hybrid Caucasoid Jews. You know, it were people that looked like us who were scientists.
Horace, can you see the screen?
They were the smart guys. Yeah, I'm here.
Can you see the screen?
Ain't that something?
I believe he's driving.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I see it with Terrence Howell. Yeah, I see it.
No, the comment, it says, because you're true.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Like you.
Yeah. He said it all. That's what he said.
Yeah, I've been driving. But yeah, I can see Terrence Howell. Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear us? I don't think he can hear us.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah.
He's got a delayed effect there, Planet.
Yes.
All right.
You know,
yeah, man. Yeah, yes.
You know, in relationship to what you're talking about, Donnie, is that, you know, these people just came out of a situation where they thought that you would fall off the earth, right? When you're sailing, right? So who informed them, that there was even a place called a New World?
The Moors.
Right. So in terms of when, you know, a big linchpin in that process of how this all happened, you have to look at Spain.
Right.
And you have to look at the them wanting reprisals from the Moors who had conquered Spain.
Mm-hmm.
And they created certain alliances with a portion of them, right? Now, one of the other confusions is, since those were the only black people they saw, they naturally associated anyone who was black as a Moor. So when you look at the Spanish word, you see that it relates to the color black.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of see how language plays a part in this. But in reference to your actual question, is that when you look at the invasion of ancient Egypt, there was a great deal of knowledge there, as well as Timbuktu, and all these were extremely learned people. These weren't like these so-called primitive people. So due to the fact that they were all into masonry, right, which is the love of building and the esoteric nature of Egypt, when they came up over here, they know what they were doing. Okay. Now, in terms of the layman or the worker, yeah, they had indentured servants that they had put in slavery in England. That's why they came over here in the first place. But those were the workers to implement the will of those masons.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't stupid though, bro. Okay.
Planet, we're gonna wrap this thing on up. Can you hit us with a prayer?
Okay. Once again, I want to shout out to 369 Empire for doing a great show showing the relationship of our community with the new technology that is, it's not that new, but new enough that is flourishing the internet, which is this AI technology. So I shout out to them for showing a window for the community to get into that. Now, oh, that's such a beautiful picture that you put up there, Donnie, right? Which is proof, again, that we are here. Yeah. And look on the screen, the Moreno, that was the word. Thank you, whoever sent that out. Okay. Now, blessed people. Once again, we're surrounded by space. We're surrounded by darkness. We're surrounded by love and grace. Otherwise, we would not be able to have survived what we have gone through to even have this discussion. So I ask you to take a moment to reflect on that, and the ingredient that you have to do that is your own stillness. Everything is so busy. Everything, one seeks knowledge. It takes a lot of energy to do that. It takes a lot of energy to raise a family in these conditions. So it behooves us to find a moment in the day or the night to go back into that darkness that you are. Okay? That physically manifests as melanin, but we also know that melanin exists within the brain, within all organs. So it's a universal thing. All humans have it in different degrees, right? But you can access it by simply being still. Just simply being still, just for a moment. So right now, let's just be still for a minute. Let's just do that. And that's my prayer. Okay. I guess that was the buzzer.
All right.
Oh man, no, that's me, man. Hitting him, hitting those
That's all
shoulder
good.
lines.
It's
My
all
fault.
it's all in tune. It's all in tune. We're good. We're
Horace,
good.
you
Yes,
got the
sir.
libations?
Well, I'm gonna have to, serve them up, from my Akashic records, because I don't have my laptop in front of me. But I try, to do my best. Even though I'm
Amen.
climbing up here, yes, I
That's
tune
great.
brave. So I like to start out, what I'm saying, we're giving honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the great Queen Nitha of Chicago, Illinois, who defeated 5 armies of invading pharaohs. The Honorable Empress Verdiasi of Louisiana, the Honorable Chief Redbird, the Honorable Chief Warhorse, the Honorable Sister Vicky Diller, the Honorable Mama T, the Honorable Dr. Joy DeGrew, the Honorable Dr. Francis C. Welty, the Honorable Sister Shahrazad Ali, the Honorable Dr. Ari Khan, Honorable Ina Shakur, the Honorable Angela Davis. I'd like to say Malcolm X, the Honorable Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Omali Yashatila, the Honorable and the late great C. Freeman Hill, the Honorable beloved brother Bobby Hemmett, the Honorable Reverend Dr. Phil Valentine, the Honorable Who else can I say? Dan Calloway, Karimo Ahua. Did I say Omali Yeshatila? If I didn't, there it is. The Honorable 19 Keys, Honorable Billy Carson, the Honorable who else who has I missed on here, man? Oh yeah. Yeah, the Honorable the Honorable 363, the Big Chief Outcats, the Honorable Rod Hayes, as well as the Honorable Young Elder. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm gonna stop trying to remember because I don't want to keep saying but I can't forget, the Honorable King Randall down in Albany, Georgia. Can't forget that young brother. And anybody who I miss, I apologize. I don't have my list with me, but want to start off, with the Honorable brother Donnie Glover for providing us with this platform to reach our people. The most honorable Planet Wells, Wise Planet Wells. The most honorable brother Hannibal James, the most honorable young, wise, and intelligent brother Mafia Shakur, the most honorable Chief Secrete Balance, and if I miss anybody,
you didn't mention that lady's name 3
hey,
times.
Man, that lady sharp as a razor, brother. I'm trying to tell you, man, she's vital. She's
sure?
important
You sure
to
this ain't like your lady friend or something?
Oh no,
Horace
sir, brother.
Lee the Fourth.
She get a lot of
brother. I
blessings
appreciate
on this
it.
show.
Yeah, as she should.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah, no. Oh man, no, brother, it ain't like that, man. That sister just, man, she's amazing, man. And I think that, yeah, brother, because once we get all this to a head, she's gonna be paramount in us taking this to the highest level that it needs to be taken to. And
I
so all of our,
I don't know if Brenda appreciate all of these secret compliments because she over here in the chat.
well, I mean, I don't know about all that,
Hey, Brenda.
Donnie,
there's no pun intended.
Donnie, do we have any information on this particular image that you got on the screen right now?
So it is one of many that I've come across done by Europeans, and these are their renditions of the first Americans that they have met.
Mm-hmm.
And quite often they have feathers. And as you guys were talking about feathers, it made me think about how the Europeans outlawed the feathers and made them
correct
illegal for us to gather. But this is just one of many. I like you guys, I collect a lot of the artwork, and in it I find some.
Is there a date associated with? Is there a date associated with that?
So like this is one of many. So you just gotta see the pattern. But at the bottom, quite often they have America. So if you Google Black Indians North America, that's an entry into these and other images. You just gotta search, and I've been searching them for years.
On that one that's on now, I noticed in the corner it says 1790. Is that related to the time period, or is that something else?
I cannot answer that, but you can see that at Johnny Aborigine. You can go to his page and probably find out more information. You see that at Johnny Aborigine?
Yeah.
Hey, what's the brother name? Mike TV.
Mike TV, Mike Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mike Lane. I want to give a big up to that brother too, man. He's extremely powerful, man, with what he brings to the table.
Absolutely.
As long as he come correct,
we're all working towards the same end.
Sure.
What's interesting in these photos, Donnie, and these drawings, right? Is these particular ones that you shown tonight, is the elegance of the garments, the regalia, the pose.
Is there any question that he's got melanin in his?
Nope. No,
and I've seen a lot of
melanated being.
Cats jet black or jet melanin, whatever you want to call it. Chocolate.
Yeah.
Man, I look like I seen that cat standing in front of Rothschild's
Right.
liquor store on
Right.
63rd, around the corner from O Block.
Right. And you know, the deep thing is that, you know, you're digging up this information and showing it to us, which is great. But the deep thing is the mindset of a people or a government that would want to not show you this. Right? You just don't do that without some sinister intention.
Yes, sure indeed.
Yeah, so that picture that's on the screen now is Muskogees that went to Oklahoma and then went down to Nacimiento, Mexico. They call Los Muskogos. So you see that they are us.
Right. Well, if you, I don't know if you've seen my book, but we talk about Chief John Horse, who led the first melanated people from Florida to Oklahoma, and then he left Oklahoma and went to Florida and Texas. And they still celebrate Juneteenth there. Chief John Horse and his soldiers were the first border patrol. So these are melanated people.
Yes, they are.
But who were they patrolling the border against, though?
They was bordering against the white Americans.
That's deep.
That's the border between Mexico and the United States. So obviously they were trying to keep Americans out.
Right.
Clearly.
I think that in the history books, when it mentions the British, the Spaniards, the French, and whoever else, the Germans, what have you, they always mention the Americans alongside or in conjunction with them. And I'm starting to really think that the Americans were that elite class of conglomerates that came over here from Europe, because this land was never America, and it wasn't named after Amerigo Vespucci. So when it says the Americans in the history books, it's talking about an elite class of Europeans who came over here from Europe, and I think that they were comprised of a lot of Moors and crypto Jews or Ashkenazi Jews, what have you. What you think about that, Hannibal?
I think you're correct with that. I think he really is. You know, I just found out recently that kind of baffled me that some people was taking on different nationalities and different last names than their original last names. So I totally agree with you. I think that's like you said, another avenue that needs to be studied by folks. But I think that we got enough brain power and enough people here to put things together, you know.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Just enlighten and get a spark, you know, like we've been doing.
One of the greatest attributes of the show is that we've all come together to question the narrative that was forced on us through the educational system and the higher learning system, such as, you know, colleges and universities, right? We see holes in it, as Donnie has illustrated in his an introduction to the program tonight. There are many holes in it, and the mass is awakening to change this narrative to the truth, and that's what we're seeking.
So Big Mom Baby said there's a mass awakening happening, and they are very fearful. So please, let's continue. And on that note,
absolutely,
I'll be back in the saddle Tuesday night right after class at 9 p.m. Any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Yeah, check me out. Check me out at Dogs.network, YouTube. Got from the series From Gangs to Gods.
Yeah. You guys can contact me at ourheritagehub.com and leave me a message, and I'll get back with you guys.
And
so, Horst, if I've learned nothing, I've learned if I'm in Chicago, I need to just say I know Horace, right?
But nah, brother,
I'll
you
need
know,
to say I'm down with GD or whatever. I ain't trying to get hit up.
No, that's not that wasn't my tribe, but I got some partners that affiliated with that particular tribe.
Sounds like a safe word. Might get you out of trouble for 5 minutes.
No,
long enough for you to make it
just
up the road.
No, man, I tell you what, man, just keep it moving, man. If somebody asks you a question, don't answer. Just keep it moving. That's the best way to do it, man.
But Big Mom Baby said it all. There is a mass awakening happening. We are glad to be a part of it. Horace Hannibal.
That's right.
Planet Wells. Peace and blessings to you. And please,
peace to you too, my brother.
Peace, Johnny.